Hello ladies and gentlemen, Blugoblin here. Thank you for joining me for my first comic book review of 2013 for this week of January 2013. Excuse the mess you see behind me. My girlfriend was here for the whole weekend, and me and her weren't exactly really tidy, and I have to straighten things up around here, but just been real busy these past few days. But I was able to get the books I was wanting to read. I only got 5 books to review, so instead of going Marvel and then DC, stuff like that, I'm just going to review them in alphabetical order. So enjoy, everybody. We're going to start off with my pick of the week, All New X-Men, number 5. This is my pick of the week. Oh man, Brian Michael Bendis, Stuart Immonen, y'all are still killing it on this series. Very, very, very good work here. Even though I have said over the past 2 or 3 years that I really believe Jean Grey should stay dead or should stay gone, it would add to her legend and everything. Even after saying all of that, after loving Jean for so much, I mean, look at that. Awesome. But with that even being said, it is good to see her again, even though we're getting the 1960s Jean. But wow, this book was so phenomenally well done. It doesn't focus a lot on action. It focuses a lot more on storytelling, and it really is really, really well done here. Very nicely done, including a magnificent 2-page spread in the middle of the book. Seriously, I want this picture hanging on my bedroom wall. It is so awesome. We get to see Jean surrounded by all these memories we have had of her in the past few years. It's just an awesome picture. I gotta find it and frame it. It is so awesome to me. But a lot of things happen in here. We get to see more of Jean mastering her mind reading abilities. We get to see a conclusion with Beast's dilemma, and I thought the stuff with Beast was brilliant. Nice stuff. I mean, who would be a better candidate to help Beast out with his problem than himself? I mean, awesome stuff. I mean, they go through every calculation, literally every single calculation for Beast's mutation, and wouldn't you know it, Beast found an incorrect calculation, which would explain how his mutation was killing him, and they fix it, and it was awesome. As a longtime Beast fan, I'm marked out. It was great stuff. And the stuff with Jean, I mean, we get to see Jean really grow a backbone in here and really put her foot down and say, look, we ain't going nowhere. We're going to stay here where we think we can do better good here than we could back then. You know, knowing what they're dealing with now. And they all put it to a vote, and they decide to stay. And original Scott, not Dick Summers that we get now, which we do see Dick Summers in here, you know, talking to another one of those new mutants that popped up and everything. But you know, fuck him, I don't care. But we get to see a very kind of dark and yet kind of moment to end the book, and it was awesome stuff. I will admit, I had high expectations for this series, but they weren't as high as I would expect. You know, they weren't really, really high. But I gotta say, Bendis, for all the hits and misses you've had, this is definitely a hit. Awesome book. And not to mention the original 5 X-Men get a new mentor, a new leader to fill in for Charles. And who it ended up being, now it's probably already ruined in the future solicitations for this series, but I'm not going to ruin who that was. but I have to admit, as a personal fan of this character who steps up and takes the responsibility for the 5 original X-Men, it was awesome for me. I personally loved it. This was a great book, a great addition to this series, and one that put this book on your pull list and put it on your collection for X-Men stuff, because this is phenomenal shit. Moving along, Batman The Dark Knight number 15. It's checkmate for Gotham. Now, I said on my Twitter account, get a good look at that cover. When I first saw this cover, I thought to myself, that reminds me of the classic Batman and Detective comic covers from the Golden Age or the Silver Age. I believe it was the Golden Age or the Silver Age, something like that, from the 50s and early 60s. You know, how you would see, you know, Batman like playing chess with one of the villains. I believe there was a classic Batman cover where it looked like Batman was playing chess with the Joker, and this cover here instantly reminded me of that stuff. Awesome. This is an awesome cover, and this is an awesome yet nail-biting conclusion to the Scarecrow story. I mean, in this book, we get to see just how far Bruce is willing to go to protect Gotham. You gotta, when it comes to stories like this, and how this particular issue is told, there are times where you have to suspend your scientific disbelief when it comes to comic books, because what looks possible in a comic book isn't necessarily possible in the real world, and you do have to suspend your disbelief a little bit. You can't just look at this story and go, bullshit, that can't happen. You know, have an open mind. You know, take the story for what it is, and you'll really admire it. It is really, really well done. And some great character development for Robin, for Damian. This is one of those rare occasions where, excuse me, this is one of those rare occasions where we get to see Robin actually caring for Batman, for Bruce, for his father. We get to see some real emotion from Damian in here, and it was so well done. But to me, the character that really takes an emotional beating is Alfred. Seeing Alfred put up with the shit he's been putting up with here, you really got a feel for the guy. Especially after, you know, especially around near the end of the book, you can just look at the storytelling, you can look at the panels, and you can just really see just how emotionally beat down Alfred really is. And he doesn't even have to say anything. You can just look at him and you can just know, and it's so well done. Love me some David Finch artwork. Now, I know Ethan Van Sciver's coming to the book next issue, so I believe this is David Finch's last issue, and it's going to be a shame to see him go, but Ethan Van Sciver is coming to this series after this, which I'm really looking forward to. And it doesn't bode so well for the Scarecrow at the end of the book. This was a great story involving, you know, for the Scarecrow, and it had a good conclusion, nail-biting, tense, very dramatic, and yet at the same time it was really awesome. Loved this book. Alright, moving along. We got The Flash, number 15. All roads lead to defeat. I didn't really know what to make of that cover until I read the book. Now, the first thing I want to say is, Marcus 2, I do like your artwork. I loved your run with Red Robin. But for Flash, I gotta be honest, Marcus 2's artwork for The Flash, especially with this issue, it didn't really work for me. It really didn't. I can't explain it. Don't ask me to explain it because I really can't. I really can't explain it, but his artwork, after being with Francis Manapul's artwork for so long, for over a year, it didn't work. It just didn't work. But Francis Manapul does come in the second half of the book to finish up the artwork, and I'm like, okay, finally, the book looks right again. But the storytelling is still really solid. Continues the story of the with the Gorilla Grodd incident. We get to see some good character development from the supporting cast of this series and from the Rogues, and it's good. It's really good. I don't necessarily believe this was the strongest issue out of the series. I really don't. but it was still very well done. Now, the purpose of the cover is that even while he's unconscious, Barry's able to process his thoughts at a high speed. He's able to, with the process of speed thinking, I believe that's what they called it, he's able to see many different outcomes depending on what action he would choose to take. And in almost every single one of these possible outcomes, there's always something bad happening. And it really makes him second guess himself as to, you know, can he really save everybody? He's looking for that, he's using his speed thinking to look for a future where he can save everybody, because in every one of his outcomes somebody kicks the bucket, whether it be him or a member of the supporting cast or whatever. But when he, at the end of the book, he decides that there's only one thing I guess that he thinks he can do, and I don't really know if I would necessarily agree with what he ultimately decides he thinks he needs to do, but it does stick with his character development in a sense. This was good, don't get me wrong, it was a really good read, but I really don't, in my honest opinion, I really don't think this was the strongest issue out of the series. This definitely was not better than some of the past few issues I've been reading, but it doesn't mean it's a bad book. It was a really good read, but it's kind of like the series is going up and we get to this and it starts to go down a little bit and it tries to pick back up and it comes back down again. It just kind of feels like that for me. I'm not going away from this series, but it just like we hit a little speed bump on the way toward more smoothness on the road, you know, so to speak. That's just how I honestly feel about this. It was good, but I kind of personally and honestly feel like it could have been better. Alright. Red Lanterns, number 15. Now, you want to talk about a series that I believe could be underrated. I don't look at many internet reviewers all over the internet. I do see some on YouTube, like my student, TheMtVernonKid. Thumbscrews did a couple of comic book related videos. Deadpoolzilla has done some. I just started watching Comic Uno. She's really good. Yeah, but I haven't really been reading much, you know, reviews about this series. So based on that, I think it could be an underrated series, but then again, I haven't seen the wide fan base of the Red Lanterns as of yet. But god damn, this is a good series. This is really, really good. Peter Milligan continues to write the story really well. I mean, everybody is done well in this. Bleeze, Rancor, Dexstar, Atrocitus. Everything is really, really well done in here. This is another tie into the Rise of the Third Army story, but we don't really see that much of the Third Army in here. We get to see more of the Red Lantern's turmoil with, you know, keeping their Red Central Battery alive, and we get to see more of the Red Lanterns acting like themselves, you know, full of rage, yet at the same time they still have clear thoughts on what they need to do to keep their core alive. And to me, one of my favorite moments in here was the stuff with Dexstar, the cat. Awesome stuff. Love that little fucker. Atrocitus. Oh man, wait a minute. Before I get to Atrocitus, the Earth Red Lantern, Rancor, or whatever his name is. Holy shit. This guy is starting to accept the rage power, and it's nice. It is really nice. Now to Atrocitus. Atrocitus gets a hold of a certain artifact. Let's call him that. Gets a hold of a certain artifact, and he believes by charging them with his own blood, his own energy, that he's somehow gained control of them, and now they belong to him. But at the end of the issue, we find out he actually doesn't have control of them, and let me put it like this. When you get to the last page, you see for yourself, Atrocitus is pretty much fucked. He is fucked. Oh my god. The last page. My jaw dropped. What the hell, DC? Really? Are you really going there? Holy shit. I'm not going to say anything else. Just pick up this book and get a look at it. Red Lanterns has been a phenomenal series. Really, really impressive. I would love to get on the internet and do some searching on this. I want to see just how big the fan base for Red Lanterns is. Because if it's not big, it needs to be. We're going to end this on a Marvel book. We're going to end this with Venom. We're going to end this with Venom number 29. Cullen Bunn continues to write. We got Silas and DeCastro on art. I bet I butchered those names, and I'm sorry. One of my favorite things about this book is the cover. That's an awesome cover. I've always loved me some Venom. And just for the record, I would like to say again, Flash Thompson is 10 times the Venom Mac Gargan ever was. Fuck Mac Gargan Venom. Yeah, the continuation of the story with the UFOs. Excuse me. The continuation of that story, and it's starting to look up for Flash. He calls for reinforcements, and when I got the feeling he was calling in for backup, I was expecting, you know, a bunch of the Secret Avengers or some of the Avengers to come up to show up and help him. But he gets only one person. Only one person comes to help him. I'll go ahead and spoil this. It's his girlfriend, Valkyrie. And he even says it. He says, you're taking on me and my girlfriend, Valkyrie. And Valkyrie's like, girlfriend? And he's like, my Avenger partner, Valkyrie, or something like that. It just reeks of awkwardness in the middle of an action scene. That's great stuff. The action is really good. The dialogue is really good. You get to see we get to see how Venom survived what he went through in the last issue, and it was actually really clever. We get to see another power of the symbiote that my dumbass actually forgot about. So it was nice to see. It's nice to see that use. It is a little bit of a cop out, but when you're talking about the powers of the symbiote, yeah, okay, it makes sense. Remember, stretch your disbelief when it comes to science fiction, everybody. But things ain't looking so well for Eugene and Valkyrie. And then, last page, the gloves are coming off, bitches. It's awesome. I am so ready for the next issue. After seeing the last page, I am ready to see the next issue. The fucking gloves have come off. Awesome. Can't wait for issue 30. That was a good read. Really good. I gotta say, this was a small week for me, but all 5 books that I got this week were actually pretty damn good. Some of these books had their flaws, but all in all, it was a solid week for comic books for me. That's all I got for this week, everybody. I want to thank you all for watching. Please follow me on Twitter or on Tumblr. Please don't forget about my student, TheMtVernonKid, my good friend, my brother from another mother. Bro fist for you, Chris. I also want to send a special shout out to Deadpoolzilla. I just recently found out on Facebook that his computer had died, so he's going to be gone for a while. So, bro fist for you, Deadpoolzilla. Hoping to see you come back very soon. Been loving your stuff, especially your Wally West video. Really got to agree with you on there. Comic Uno, check her out. She shouldn't be hard to find on YouTube. Just search for her name. I'm sure you'll find it. And that's pretty much it, everybody. Thanks for watching, and until next time, everybody, I'll see you later.